Chapter 6503. At this time, the weak John does not know where his fate will go next. The severe pain in his hand made his mind extremely clear at times and extremely vague at other times. In a state of anxiety, he suddenly heard someone knocking on the door. Chavarin's voice came from outside the door, respectfully saying, "Grand Commander, the Ancestor ordered the subordinates to come and discuss relevant matters with you. He is still waiting on the other end of the phone." John frowned. The Ancestor mentioned by Chavarin was his great-grandfather Revendor. However, he did not understand why the great-grandfather did not contact him directly when he had something to tell him, but found Chavarin instead. In doubt, he only felt that his right eyelid was twitching non-stop, which did not seem to be a good sign. However, he did not dare to delay too much. After all, Chavarin also said that the great-grandfather was waiting on the other end of the phone. It seemed that there was something he wanted to tell the two of them at the same time. So, he got up with difficulty and opened the door. Chavarin walked in holding a phone and said to him, "Grand Commander, the Ancestor is calling via video." After that, he handed the phone screen to John. John saw Revendor on the screen and immediately said, "Come in and let me talk." Chavarin came in with the phone and then said to the phone, "Ancestor, I'm here with the Grand Commander." Revendor on the other end of the phone said, "Turn on the hands-free." "Okay, Ancestor." Chavarin turned on the speaker of the phone and then said to the phone, "Ancestor, the hands-free is already on." "Okay." Revendor in the video nodded, then said, "John, can you hear me?" John hurriedly said, "I can hear you, Grandpa." "What is this call about?" Revendor said, "I called to convey the Lord's order to you too." John's expression suddenly froze, and he blurted out, "Grandpa, please tell me. I'm all ears." Revendor paused for a moment, then slowly said, "John, the Lord ordered the three elders to cut off your left hand to punish you for your poor performance and the loss of the Morocco garrison. The Lord thought that you had no subjective intention, so she showed you a break and did not order the three elders to execute you. Do you understand this favor?" John did not dare to hesitate, and immediately said, "Grandpa, I know the Lord's kindness very well. In the future, I will do my best to serve the Lord and be loyal to her." Revendor sighed lightly and said, "John, the Lord has an order. Because your left hand was cut off by the Lord's instruction. By the three elders. Now the enemy deliberately used the remodeling pill to regenerate your left hand and cruelly cut off your right hand. This move is intended to deliberately create internal conflicts in the Wu family and also plant hidden dangers for the stability of the Wu family. Therefore, the Lord specially ordered General Chavarin to cut off your left hand immediately. The matter of the remodeling pill started with you two and ended with you two. You must not leak this matter to anyone else. Otherwise you will be severely punished for treason and rebellion." When John heard this, he collapsed instantly and cried to Revendor in the video, "Grandpa, this grandson only has this left hand left. If my left hand is cut off, what's the point of this grandson living here?" Chavarin on the side was also horrified. He never expected that John had already lost his right hand. But the Lord wanted to cut off his left hand too. If this order cannot be reversed, then he would have to have 3 hands chopped off. If this happens, only John will be the person in the whole world who can experience it. Revendor in the video said helplessly at this time, "John, this is the order of the Lord, I have no choice." John cried and begged, "Grandpa, please say a few good words for your grandson in front of the Lord. If your grandson loses both hands and returns to the Right Army Governor's mansion, I am afraid that people will talk about and ridicule him. At that time, I will not be able to command the Governor's mansion, which is not good for the Right Army Governor's mansion." Revendor pursed his lips and said, "John, the Lord has other orders about the personnel arrangements of the Right Army Governor's mansion. After your left hand is cut off, we'll report to my brother, the Right Army Governor. The Governor's office has issued an order that your brother Jones will take over immediately. and the Lord will spare your life and allow you to go back and reunite with your family. At that time, Jones will be ordered to take extra care of you and your family, so that you and your family will live a life of wealth and prosperity, and have no worries about food and clothing." At this point, Reverend Dawes said, "John, this is already the best outcome for you. Don't forget your brother, whose fate is much worse than yours." John was completely desperate at this moment. His eyes were empty, his expression was wooden, and he was silent for at least half a minute. Half a minute later, he lowered his head and wiped the tears from the corner of his eyes with his left hand. Then he looked at his left hand and murmured, "Although the Lord has spared my life, from now on, I will be a completely useless person. I can't eat or dress myself, I can't wipe my tears when I cry, and I can't even wipe my butt when I go to the toilet. I am a man of 7 feet tall, and it's better to die than to live like this." Reverend Dawes advised, "John, people say that it's better to live than to die. This is an eternal truth, so don't think that it's better to die. In addition, I also want to remind you, what's the use of dying? Even if you die, your left hand will still be lost. Its existence is the biggest hidden danger of the entire Warrior's Den and the Wu family." When John heard this, he knew that it was useless to complain and beg for mercy. Even if a god came, he couldn't save his left hand. Even if the mysterious man gave him another remodeling pill, it would be useless. If Victoria knew, she would cut off both of his hands again. Thinking of this, John shuddered instantly. He thought, what if that B5 tard comes again and forces another reshaping pill into my mouth? What should I do?